experience. You can see the iconic sunsets. It almost reminds you of paintings with oranges and pinks. It's just quite mesmerizing. One of the biggest problems in Africa is corruption, in all levels really. I think there are so many problems in Africa that it's quite hard to pinpoint what they are, but you can start with loads of people not even having access to the simplest resources like water. People that have to walk for a long time to find water. And when they do, it doesn't mean that it will be water that is clean and pure, that is good for drinking. They may be walking for miles and miles to find that water that will actually make them sick. Another problem is access to medicine, access to nutritious food, access to mosquito nets, access to books. I think we could all do a lot more to support those people. It's not just about materialistic aid, it's also about giving them the support. There's a lot of silent victims in Africa, people that could benefit greatly by just having someone to talk to. I went to villages in the interior of the country in Mozambique where they're completely remote. They had no connection with the outside world. They had nothing. Everything they had, it was handmade. They were living in huts in a very close community. The bathroom was pretty much a hole on the floor. They made their own toys out of cans or out of rocks, out of metal. They made their own music instruments out of wood and string and old 5-liter oil can. It's truly inspiring. They are very imaginative, they're very creative with the very little they have. I think we are quite lucky in Europe that we have a health system. Hospitals don't have great conditions. For people with money, they just go to private clinics and pay for it. I remember once visiting a mother that had just given birth to a baby girl, and she was on the floor of this hospital room. And the floor was filled with women that had just given birth. You didn't actually have beds. You didn't have a system. Food in Africa can be quite amazing, can be spicy, very multicultural in a way. You can taste the multicultural influences. But if you talk about food amongst the people that don't have much, then food is pretty much a mix of flour and water. It's corn flour or any other flours that they sort of pound the grains to make the flour in a huge pestle and mortar. That's quite an iconic symbol there. They also make their own alcohol out of corn by fermenting it. But if food on those senses is quite simple, not fancy at all, is whatever you can cultivate, whatever you can get hold of. No child has ever started a war. No child should ever be affected by war.